It had been a cold and blustery winter, and we were excited to set out on a classic backpacking trip through the snow. One with warm fires.
We just gotta get the fire stoked up a little bit.
Cozy tents.
Not bad. Not bad.
And stunning winter scenes.
It's just absolutely beautiful.
But this trip ended up being a little bit more out of the ordinary than usual.
Do not do this. This is a bad idea.
So come along with us as we return to Allegheny National Forest and embark on a strange and unconventional winter trip that's full of surprises.
I just have one question for everybody. Who's ready for some hotel archives?
On a cold February night, we headed east to Pennsylvania on our way to a hotel in Jamestown, New York.
We don't have much in the way of goodies, but Andrew, like some sort of Dutch Christmasman, brought some oranges.
I need to prevent scurvy on this long journey.
You want me to peel it for you?
Sure. Just like holding an orange out.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. No seeds. Oh yeah. Peel it in one piece.
Along the way, we stopped at a rest area, and the winter air felt especially cold and blustery.
Not too late to just keep it hotel archives for the weekend.
It is pretty chilly. Where are we anyway? Oh, we're still in Ohio. All right.
We also had a craving for some snacks, so we also stopped at a gas station.
All right. Yeah. Grab us some jalapeno. One that one looks a little crunched up. Get one that's not crunched up.
This bag's nice and heavy.
You have to go all the way to the back.
After a little while longer, we had finally found our way to the hotel. Outside, the parking lot was completely frozen over.
Wow, it is icy.
We were all ready to head right to our room, but Robby had other ideas.
24-hour hot chocolate? How can I not take advantage?
We were like, let's go put our stuff in the room. Robby's like, yeah. Actually, no, let's...
I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm gonna go right to bed. I'm gonna take one drink and make you drink.
With hot chocolate in hand, we could now head up to the room.
We got to our room, and the hotel shenanigans commenced. Welcome.
Andrew, what are you eating?
还吃一个橘子。
很好吃啊。
吃一个橘子和这个不知道
热
巧克力。
Yeah, actually, that probably is.
It's not quite chocolate enough. No, it's chocolate enough. It's not quite right. All right.
You get my Duolingo. How's this hot?
It's actually really good now that I heat it up. Oh, it's the perfect temperature. I've tried the rest. Hot chocolate is the best. Oh my god.
Really wide bed. What if we just all slept on it?
3 people on the king bed.
Andrew. Just start this big tent experience. This is probably about the size of the big tent.
We could just set the rain flyer on top of this.
And no one would know.
We've got the nature view.
Oh, that's funny.
Now it was time for Andrew to set up his fold-out bed.
Some more mystery stains on the underside of this bed. Yeah, comfy enough. Yeah. It's like a hotel gurney is what he's gonna be sleeping on.
What is this, fleece?
Yes, this will do. This will do quite nicely.
Now, with all of us situated, we turned in for the night. The morning greeted us with a bright winter day. I awoke with a slight sore throat, but hopefully, a classic Hotel Archives waffle would get me to feeling better.
In addition to syrup, they had some luxurious waffle toppings.
No more sad waffles for Robby.
I, on the other hand, decided to board the SS Guppy.
Crunchitize me, Kevin.
After finishing up breakfast, we headed back to our hotel room to pack up our gear.
And now, we were off. We had about an hour's drive to get to our destination, the Tracy Ridge area at Allegheny National Forest.
On the way, we passed by the Allegheny Reservoir, which had been completely frozen over.
From a distance, the ripples of frozen water almost looked like a snow-covered meadow. Upon closer inspection, we could see ice fissures out on the lake.
Finally, we entered the national forest and came to the trailhead.
All right, how you guys feeling?
Not bad, not bad. I had to remember that it was going to be a really cool trip when I was packing, but I think I've got the right gear now. Snow is very satisfying to crunch. It's like I'm eating Cap'n Crunch all over again.
Snow covered everything, and we were excited for a perfect hiking trip through winter solitude.
So this car passing right now is the only car we've seen, and we've been here for like 20 minutes. So I don't think the trail is going to be very crowded. Yeah, there's two other cars here, and one of them is Thomas's car.
The trail we were hiking was also part of the North Country Trail, a 4,800-mile trail that stretches from North Dakota to Vermont.
Our plans were far less ambitious than that. We made our way onto the trail to check the map and review our hike.
Our plan was to hike down the North Country Trail and loop back around in a figure eight, camping 2 nights along the way. But right at the beginning, the trail was completely frozen and slick.
I don't think we're hiking far today, boys.
This trail, at least right here, it's like just as icy as the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's like there's a layer of ice under the snow.
It's been too long since we've winter camped because it did not occur to me to bring our microspikes at all.
Yeah, but I feel like we've never had icy conditions like this.
Yeah, this is just
Yeah.
a layer of ice.
The initial downhill was especially treacherous. We struggled to figure out a way down without falling.
I don't think that'll be tenable long term.
Good thing you brought that hiking pole.
Certainly not the kind of start I expected. I was expecting some casual leisure hiking.
Wow, that's really icy.
Yeah, without microspikes, we're gonna have to be really wary of how far in we go and see how feasible this actually is.
The name of the game is to not overextend ourselves.
Definitely.
The trail flattened out a
Here we
bit,
go.
and we found a little kiosk with a guestbook inside.
We kept hiking, hoping the conditions would improve,
Country trail.
but the slick ice was unrelenting. I've never experienced trail conditions like this in all our winter trips.
Yeah.
This is crazy. When it's flat, it's pretty manageable.
Yeah.
Look at this. Solid ice right here.
Okay, we had our first slip. You all right?
I'm good.
Just extra slow. I don't think we're going to be getting very far today.
Day 1, last hike, 0.3.
Looks like there's stairs here, which is probably not good.
Nope.
The stairs were glazed in lumpy, compacted ice. So, we had to stick to the more untouched snowy areas to make it downhill safely.
Let's see, what time is it? 12:25.
Well, there's a water source. Let's just camp here.
Honestly,
Let's get to that bridge. If by then it doesn't flatten out and get a little bit easier, let's reassess, because I don't know if this is actually feasible without microspikes. Or at least 2 hiking poles.
I mean, we could camp like pretty soon.
Well, the thing is, it's gonna snow. So
Right.
we might want to go get microspikes and come back before it starts snowing.
Oh,
But we'd have to get cell signal to find an outdoor store first.
that's a lot. That sounds like a lot.
The further we get in, the more untenable this is seeming without microspikes. There is a person out there. We are going to talk to them and see if they've gone any further on the trail and what the conditions are. Because, man, this is...
These really are insane conditions. Like,
Yeah, it's just like a sheet of ice on top of snow right now.
oh my god, this is crazy.
We're definitely not going much further than this.
No.
We talked to the hikers up ahead, who were both wearing spikes, and they said the conditions didn't get any less icy. One of the hikers was even doing a challenge and running up and down the trail multiple times. Clearly, the trail was completely different without spikes on.
The possibility of injury, like a pulled muscle or a sprained ankle, is gonna really be a problem.
Let's regroup up here and let's reassess. Okay, well, first of all, it's 12:40. It snows at 5. If we go back into town, we're looking at probably minimum 2 hours.
For some reason, I'm leaning towards just camping somewhere not far. But
Well, the reason I'm not leaning towards camping somewhere not far is because we still have to get out. And if it snows and it's even worse without microspikes, just getting back to the car from here is going to be tricky.
true.
I feel like there's got to be a Cabela's or some sort of outdoor store we can find.
And then if we don't find microspikes, then what?
That's a good question.
Do we have to call it at that point?
We might have to call it at that point, yeah.
In these kinds of situations, safety is paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like part of me is like, will the conditions change with the snow? Like, will they become better or worse?
Here's how I think it'll go with the snow. We won't be able to see the ice as well.
It'll just be harder. Yeah, if it's really light and fluffy, you'll just step through it and then it'll still be icy underneath. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when it's flat, it's actually sort of manageable. But any slight grade is just like so treacherous.
Actually, you know what? I think I'm pretty strongly leaning towards leaving and finding an outdoor store.
Okay.
And if we don't find an outdoor store, we call it. Okay. Yeah, just because this is so dangerous.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
If there's
'cause, like,
something we should, exercise, especially in our videos that are viewed by people,
That's true.
to take this is to be safe, right?
Yeah.
It's such a shame because like camping out here sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hiking on the ice is just so untenable.
This
Yeah.
is...
Like, it's literally sheets of ice. I've never seen anything like this.
It's 12:44. Let's get back to the car in 20 minutes. That's
All right.
manageable. We book it to where cell signal and an outdoor store. If we find it, great. We can come back before it starts snowing. We'll be sitting pretty.
Okay.
If not, hotel archives.
Yeah.
Just to give an idea so that everybody's super clear on this, this is ice. It's not snow. This is just ice.
The other problem too is just from trying to navigate that way down, I was already sweating.
Careful now.
On the way back, we talked to the other hikers again.
Okay, so we just got a tip that there is an Allegheny Outfitters further south of here, probably 40 minutes away. I think if we can get to the car pretty quickly here, that should be enough time to get some spikes and get back here before it starts snowing.
A lot of times when things go wrong on Adventure Archives, it is our fault. But I feel like this, how could anyone have seen this coming? A little iciness, yeah, but this is just, wow.
We continued to carefully make our way back to the car.
I will say I am getting more used to it, but I still wouldn't want to do this without spikes. But once we have the spikes, it's going to be like Monty Burns with his left-handed can opener.
The thing about when you say about getting more used to it, you start getting like a little overconfident.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. I was told this would be leisure.
All right, it's not even 1 o'clock yet. I think we got time.
Still really slippery.
we can just get microspikes and get back there well before 5 o'clock, I think we'll be sitting pretty still.
Plus at 5, it's only starting snowing, so I feel like we still have a little bit of...
Yeah.
Plus, we're not going to go that far anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's good.
Once we got signal, we set our navigation and called the store.
Do you know if you carry microspikes?
I currently have size large in stock.
Okay, great.
You have 3 of them?
I actually do think I have 3 of them.
Okay,
Awesome,
great. That's perfect.
Nice.
Things are looking up!
With renewed optimism for our trip, we enjoyed the beautiful sights on our drive to the store. Along the way, we saw some ice climbers navigating up frozen cascades along the bluffs.
Before long, we had made it to the town. We drove through its historic streets and eventually found ourselves at Allegheny Outfitters.
Hello. Yep, that's good. All right, that's one down.
The spikes fit me and Robby's shoes perfectly, but they were a bit too small for Bryan's boots. Luckily, the store had plenty of other options in stock. I tried on a different brand of spikes, and we were good to go.
Thank you. Allegheny Outfitters, thumbs up. Oh, I can't wait. I'm just gonna spike it. Oh, the ice.
Now it was time to head back. We found our way out of Warren and headed east. As we drove, we took in the sights of winter around us, excited to finally properly hike through all of it.
Finally, we made it back to the trailhead, and we were excited to try out our new microspikes.
I'm about to spike up and destroy this ice. Although it'd be really funny if it didn't work.
How different is it?
It's like there's no ice. Oh man, you ready to hike? I'm ready to hike.
Whoa. That's crazy, man. It's like you just turned off the ice. I can do my Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm still like nervous, but it's totally normal.
Yeah.
We were a bit nervous as we headed down the hill, but the spikes stayed incredibly effective even on the decline.
Okay, what just took us like 45 seconds took us like 10 minutes last time. You know who wouldn't have let this happen to us? Daryl. Daryl would have been like, no, we need microspikes, guys.
Now, even the treacherous, icy stairs were no issue at all. We continued down the trail and passed over the bridge we had crossed earlier, this time paying less attention to our footing and more attention to our beautiful surroundings.
I've never had this much traction. I've worn microspikes before and I've never had this much traction. You look like a Morton Joe with those shoes.
Well, one good sign is there's plenty of birch bark, and all these trees just have like the most flaky bark, so finding tinder shouldn't be too much trouble.
We could finally get on with our hike. We made our way up a small incline and passed by the trail runner who had suggested Allegheny Outfitters to us.
And it was at that store where we had learned why everything was so icy.
So apparently the reason the trail was so frozen over is they had both a bout of freezing rain followed by some snow melt. So just all of that water coating everything, and then they had a freeze right afterwards. And they said it wasn't normal for this area to have something like that, but the guy at the store said there were so many icicles on his gutter that it pulled the gutter off of his house. So it's definitely unusual conditions. Pretty cool, it's like shelter from the storm here. Imagine like setting up a tarp here and just sleeping.
Oh man.
Kinda nice.
We continued through the forest, able to appreciate the path's flat, easy terrain, thanks to our spikes. All around us were the sights of a classic winter scene. Stands of evergreen hemlocks, intermixed with bare deciduous trees, and the occasional pop of orange from clumps of beech leaves still hanging on the branches. As we got deeper in the forest, we spotted some mushrooms growing on a tree.
These look like some sort of Ganoderma mushroom. That's usually what you'll find in the winter is all these really woody shelf fungi because they're so resilient and they can withstand the sort of weather, but yeah, they're super hard. There's even like a layer of ice freezing over them. Not sure exactly which species.
As we hiked, the daylight seemed to be slowly fading away.
It's 3:14 right now. The snow is supposed to start at 5. There's plenty of good spots to camp that we've been seeing along the way, but about 2.2 miles ahead, there is an actual campground called Handsome Lake. So if we've got the energy, we might camp there. It's not too far, maybe less than 2 miles.
But with our late start and our packs full of heavy winter gear, who knew how far we would make it before sundown?
Regardless, we kept on. Along the way, we again ran into the trail runner we had talked to earlier.
How many have you done so far? 11th. Woo!
21 miles right now.
All right. What are we going to do today? 2 miles?
I always get hopeful when I see this greenery, not just because it's a nice sight, but because these are eastern hemlocks, and those are some of the best trees for finding kindling and tinder in the wintertime.
Hopefully, wherever we camped would have plenty of hemlock trees so we could start a fire tonight.
Off in the distance, we heard the sounds of a hooting owl, which we took to be a good omen.
We had heard the call of a barred owl, and Andrew tried hooting back at them to get them to respond.
Woo, 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 woo! Woo, 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 woo!
They did not believe me.
But yeah, we heard one call and then you could hear another one respond in the distance. It seems like they're not falling for Andrew's fake owl calls.
You can identify that owl pretty clearly, and the phrase they use is "who cooks for you," because the cadence of the call kind of sounds like that.
You cook for me tonight at the tent.
Further ahead, we noticed that some footprints we had been hiking alongside had suddenly stopped.
This is where our runner friend turns around pretty clearly. Actually, he even drew some lines in the snow.
Huh.
So we've made it past that point at least. Speaking of tracks in the snow, there's some other tracks here. I think it's like some sort of small bunny just based on how the paws are landing in the snow.
I would guess squirrel.
Yeah, it might be a squirrel.
They're really small.
Yeah, this looks like the work of maybe a pileated woodpecker. These are some really deep holes. And you can tell they're fresh because some of them are older, but some of them are lying on top of the snow, so they must be decently fresh. Look how deep these grooves go.
Whoa!
Based on the color of the wood, you could also tell that some of the holes were older and others were more fresh.
Dang.
We continued along and saw more signs of wildlife in the snow.
There's bigger tracks up here. Maybe deer?
Looks like some sort of hoof.
I kind of stop right here and then go off into the forest. Well, one thing we can say with some certainty is that nobody else has been up here because there's no tracks.
Yeah, any human tracks that exist have been covered by snow long ago, which means that all this snow and ice have been around for a while.
Yeah.
So this fallen log here, I can tell, is some sort of conifer tree, probably one of the eastern hemlocks. And the way I can tell is you can see that there's these little tooth-like looking things on the inside where the rest of the core has rotted out. And what that tells you is that the branches that branch out of the tree, they also go into the tree, and they're so full of resin and sap that prevents it from decomposing, that when the rest of it decomposes, you can still see that remaining.
Andrew, would you like to stick your hand in there and see if you can find any lion's mane?
I did see a log with a hole in it earlier, and I thought about it, but this late in winter, I doubt you'll find that much.
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
Sometimes mushrooms do grow in the winter, but we're not finding lion's mane, that's for sure.
The silent solitude of winter filled the air as we followed the path up a steeper hill. Thankfully, despite the incline and the snowy conditions, the uphill wasn't too difficult to hike.
The upside of this all being iced over is that with the spikes, it's kind of like you're walking on hard ground. But if you have to hike through the snow, that would feel so much more exhausting compared to this.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of that, it's 4 o'clock, so we've got about an hour left before the snow starts. Supposedly, anyway.
It's pretty steep.
Yeah. This is the end of the uphill, though.
We were now approaching a junction in the trail, and we kept our eyes open for potential campsites along the way.
This flat trail is really nice.
Yeah, this is a very nice flat section. I'm not seeing any good campsites really, but
Yeah.
maybe once we get to the intersection.
Really twiggy everywhere. Here we are. Oh, there's even a little map on here.
Okay, so our basic route, we start here, go up there, then down. That's the plan, but obviously we can change it up. But if we stick to that plan, Hopewell would be a good spot today. But we could also go up to Handsome Lake, and there's another campsite right at 10.
How long did it take us to hike this just now?
Probably an hour and 14 minutes.
I say we just go in that direction and see what we see. If there's something good, I'm totally fine taking that.
All right.
Through the trees, we could just make out the frozen reservoir in the distance. As we weaved through the forest, we caught more glimpses of the beautiful lake. But the sun was quickly setting, and the lakeshore was still a decent ways away.
Under that tree, there's a spot that is campable. It's nothing to write home about, but it's also nothing terrible. I don't know, that's one option if we wanted to stop right now. I'm worried about the trail heading back down the hill and then the terrain becoming less flat.
Yeah, I'm looking at how much we have left to do, how much light we have left. We could go to those campgrounds, but it's definitely going to be dark by the time we get there. How about we go up to the highest point here?
See if
that
there's
way
any-
we can get a better lay of the land
Yeah.
and see if there's something better than that. Otherwise, just take that one.
Okay. Maybe the deer will lead us to a good spot. There's a more established deer path here.
Oh, yep. Not any better than anywhere else. Yeah. Let's just head towards your under the tree spot.
I think it's that tree there. So.
Okay, lead the way.
This is it.
Okay. Yeah, this
what
is
do you
good.
think?
This is good. Well, first off, I think we definitely made the right decision because it's already substantially
Yeah.
darker than it was before.
Getting cold too.
Yeah, getting very cold.
Now, we got our classic big tent set up. We were excited to finally hunker down, especially with the occasional cold wind rolling through.
Ooh.
The tent was set up, but we weren't sure if the ground underneath was uneven.
Yeah.
How's it?
Oh, it's hard. Ow.
Good slope?
I think it'll be actually kind of nice.
Nice.
This slope. We might roll a little bit. You guys can start handing me stuff actually, and I'll get it spread out.
We got our sleeping bags spread out and prepared our sleeping mats. It's always good to get this step over with when winter camping, so you don't have to worry about it later.
It's looking pretty cozy in here.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It's actually quite warm in here relative to outside.
That's good. The great thing about hemlocks is, well, these tiny little twigs. They're usually scattered all across the ground under a tree, but also if in an emergency, you can also pick them from the tree because they're already dead at the bottom.
While Andrew scrounged up some kindling, Robby and I started clearing out a spot for a fire. With the kindling collected, we started setting up a fire lay and looking for larger pieces of wood.
And any work worth doing ought to come with a nice little snack break.
Can I interest you in a chocolate almond in these trying times?
Oh, indeed.
Little deer
That's
droppings.
Yeah. Sourced from Bear Grylls.
Some good collecting, Lou.
We had just finished setting up the fire lay as the evening set in.
Snow starting. Pretty fine snow right now. I'm expecting it to get intense.
Okay. Maybe I won't use the chair. If you didn't have a box of tinder to rely on, the smart thing would have been to collect all those birch barks that we saw on the way, but I knew I had plenty of stuff to use, so I did not bother with that. Because here there's not really anything. But we got some cotton balls that I'll fluff up. And maybe we'll use a little bit of this good stuff. It's like shredded coconut tinder. So a classic survival tinder is cotton balls with Vaseline. These are actually just cotton balls without anything in them though, and they'll still ignite quite easily. But I want to fluff them up a little first, just so there's more surface area and fibers. Yeah, already. The cotton balls just ignite so fast, but I put some of that extra fatwood stuff in there because sometimes things that light fast will go out really quickly too. And hopefully this will ignite all my kindling before that happens. Fingers crossed. It's definitely starting to catch, so that's good.
What's the final verdict on making a fire in extreme cold? Does it affect it how cold it is? Or is it mostly just moisture?
I'm sure that plays some part, but I think the moisture is the biggest thing because that's where, if it's moist, that means it's cold directly where it is. All of this was actually fairly dry. It was snapping pretty easily, so that's why it was a little easier to get with. But I do feel like it might need a little bit more tending than usual. That's looking pretty good though.
All right, well, I guess it's time to reveal what the dinner will be tonight.
Okay.
Robby may remember this meal that he brought.
Yeah.
I brought a meal?
Yeah, some beef stew, Dinty Moore beef stew.
Oh, we're doing a Dinty Moore beef stew again?
We're doing beef stew, but we're making it ourselves.
Oh.
But Dinty Moore will help.
Dinty Moore will help. So, onions and carrots that you can smell. Got some potatoes here. Got a can of beef. Some chicken bouillon, because I didn't have any beef bouillon. Just in case, I've got a can of Dinty Moore to add a little extra.
Just throw it all in there.
Yes. Oh, and then, of course, we got rice. All right, we're going to chop it all over.
All right. I'm going to go collect some more firewood while you guys tend to this.
All right, so I need some water first to get this stuff boiled. And we'll just get these carrots and onions in there so that the carrots can start cooking up.
And I'll throw in that chicken bouillon cube too. We just gotta get the fire stoked up a little bit so it'll actually cook the stuff. It's hard to do it in these weather conditions.
With the flames stoked up, we put the pot back on the fire to cook, while I diced up some Yukon Gold potatoes for the stew.
Now, we waited for the stew to cook as snow flurried through the forest.
Bubbling.
The weather report was quite accurate. It said it was going to snow at 5. It started just after 5. It's like 5:42 right now.
We're going to be cozying up in that tent for a while tonight.
It's gonna be fun.
With the stew almost done, I added some seasoning and flour to help thicken up the broth. But the smoke made the task of cooking a bit difficult.
Hopefully you guys can see, because I can't see.
Yeah, I can barely see anything.
Here, lift it up off the fire.
I can't see anything.
Well, guys, if this is terrible, I'm sorry.
No, that'll be good. We got Dinty Moore.
We added the Dinty Moore, but we forgot a proper can opener, so we couldn't add the extra can of beef we had brought. But regardless, the stew seemed great.
Oh, that's looking pretty good.
Finally, we let the stew heat up a bit more and added in the rice.
Now, it was time to see if the stew tasted as good as it looked.
Wow, really excellent.
Probably the Dinty Moore can, but
No, I mean, those vegetables are really good too. I'm amazed how well those veggies cooked in these conditions.
Woo!
Good. Wow, that's a good portion too, actually.
Lots of times when we make this, it's never hot enough. But this is like boiling hot.
Yeah, that's actually amazing how, like, it's not cooling down either.
Wow, you're right behind.
Oh, I know.
So be careful.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me know, Jordy LaForge. Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. The little flour bits just turned into little dumplings.
Yeah. Well, I know I speak for all of us when I say I'm really looking forward to being in that tent. I think these are like some of the colder conditions we've been in though.
My thermometer ran out of batteries, unfortunately, but
Honestly, it's just my hands that are the worst. Everything else is bearable.
I will say definitively, I can say this for sure. If you can get your core warm, your hands and feet will be so much better.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to warm up your hands and feet. Try to get your center warmed.
With our tasty supper eaten, we doused the fire, shook the snow off our tent, and got ready for bed.
Oh man, that's a task. Getting in and out of the tent.
And tonight, we were testing out some gear that our viewer Yara had sent to us.
Thank you for sending these to us. These are little down booties. I don't actually know if they're down or not, but in any case, it's basically like little sleeping bags for your feet.
It's pretty nice.
I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but
It'll be something extra, right?
I sure hope it works. I look like some sort of Star Trek alien or something. I'll report back in later.
So Dan Vulcan's told me about these little dongles you can use to inflate your sleeping mat so you don't have to huff and puff. So we just put this over here.
I don't actually know if it's charged. It looks like it's deflated.
Oh, is it on deflate? Hold on, I brought the instructions because I knew this would happen.
All right, just real quick, that sounds like sleet.
Yeah.
I think we came in at just the right time.
Double click to inflate. Okay, that's probably what it was.
We'll feel the air. Does it feel like it's sucking or blowing?
Did I put it on the wrong way? Is that what it is? Maybe I put the nozzle on the wrong way. That actually might be it. Oh yeah, now we're blowing. I vaguely remember this being faster last time I saw it in action, but at the very least I'm not working to do that. That is inflating though, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's pretty nice, because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
And look how small it is, too.
yeah,
It's pretty nice.
it's quite impressive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now it's getting there. Now, oh, where's the button? Okay.
Explodes. All of us get hit in the face with shrapnel.
I've got like 3 shirts I'm gonna wear while I sleep. I'm already wearing one. This is unironically something I really love doing every winter trip, is just layering up. It's like extra layers of protection with each shirt that you put on. 3 shirts.
More than enough.
How are your feet feeling, Rob? Warm?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't been thinking about them, which is a good sign. Let me feel. Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
I'm settled, I guess.
Is that the only shirt you wear? You have a coat or something, right?
No, I'm just gonna wear this.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. This is like Beeblebrox at River Tamark.
Well, unlike Beeblebrox at the River Tamark, I'm gonna put on multiple layers of pants. The key is that you have to make sure the first layer is tucked into your socks, and then just keep alternating them. Okay, my last layer of pants are these loose kung fu pants, and I still don't know if these actually do anything, but my theory is they create an extra layer of air pocket for just a little bit more insulation. Final ingredient, the unisock. Classic. Just all the grunting.
Bryan is already full sarco.
No time like the present.
Don't you know I've got snacks for it?
Okay.
You think I'm not gonna? You think I'm gonna go to bed without snacks?
Now, when we eat these snacks, we can eat it by candlelight.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to give a very big disclaimer. Do not do this at home. Never, ever use a lighter inside a tent. Okay? This is such a terrible idea. I can't believe I'm letting this happen, but Do not do this. This is a bad idea. Do not do this.
It's fine. It's designed for this.
Oh, this is so stupid. This is so stupid.
Why?
Yeah, that is very nice, very cozy. But
Look.
Is that secure in there?
Yeah. Look at it, and it's giving us some warmth. Come on, son. Come on. Here, turn your headlamps off really quick. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, now that's what I call Hugo. Come on,
Oh,
son.
this is okay.
Was I?
It was worth the risk.
Hold on,
It
turn
was
on your
worth the
headlamps
risk.
and
I mean, I'm gonna keep it on all night.
Yeah.
I already.
Okay, so one of our viewers, John, he has a YouTube channel called John's Tiny Wood Shop, and he sent us these amazing snacks, Nutella biscuits. They're really good. I almost ate all of them, but I was like, I gotta save one for you guys.
Wow.
And then dink it.
Oh, these are pretty hefty. By candlelight too. Now we're living in Sweden.
This is a good candle. It was worth the risk. Don't do it at home, but
Look at this ambiance. Come on, son.
it was pretty good.
Nutella by candlelight.
Man, this is relaxing.
We gotta do the old classic that my dad used to do. We're in a spaceship
Oh yeah.
and we're going 20 light years somewhere. And now we're in our cryopods and it's time to sleep.
I was telling someone about that, like the whole like, oh, pretend you're like a sniper, and they're like, what? That sounds very anxiety-inducing. I'm like, well, no, it's like a low-stakes sniping situation.
If you snipe them, it's fine. If you don't, no problem.
Man, this is so cozy.
This is really great. Candlelight is something else, man.
Yeah.
Artificial light, like it really is something different.
Yeah.
It's artificial.
Wow. Okay. Not bad. Not bad.
We've been inside this tent for 15 hours.
I expected nothing else.
Man, getting out of a tent on a day like this is so hard.
Never gets easier. My body was already so cold when I got in the sleeping bag that I think I was just cold for the next 3 hours. It was very disruptive sleep.
It was one of those nights that was a long night. Like
It was
you might have
super long.
You might have slept a good amount for parts of it, but man, I was very aware of the length of the night.
Whenever I would wake up and I was like, oh, this is a long night, I would just be like, well, there's really nothing else I want to do or could do. I'm just going to keep lying here.
Well, I think maybe priority one is to get some water boiling.
We now got dressed so we could leave the comfort of the tent.
Yeah, one of the worst things about winter camping is having to get up and change into your hiking clothes, especially if, like this jacket, it's a little bit damp. But you have to resist the temptation to wear the clothes you slept in because you want your nice, warm, dry clothes for the next night. Oh. Actually, I'm going to save this for nighttime.
Now, it was time for a warm winter drink.
I have these chai spices. So in here, we've got some cinnamon, cardamom, allspice, some star anise, and cloves. And this is way too elaborate of a thing to be doing when it's this cold out, but we're gonna do it anyway. There we go. Ideally, you would grind these up.
Faster, it's burning.
Okay. Ideally, you would grind these up. But we're just gonna give it a quick toast. Once the spices were fragrant, we stopped toasting them and set them aside.
Since we were just brewing one drink to share, we took advantage of the abundant snow around us and started melting some down.
Now that the snow was melted, we added the spices back in.
Now that it's boiling, or at least getting there, I'm going to put in a spoonful at a time.
stuff in the winter is so tedious. You can smell the spice at least.
Yeah.
Smells like an Indian cafe with central heating.
With the water boiling, we added in some black tea. After steeping for a bit, it was ready to drink.
Spices.
Smells really good.
And of course, masala chai is usually taken with milk and sugar. We were using half and half creamer packets for simplicity's sake.
Hopefully it's good.
This
You need
tastes
some
like
sugar?
a new age store.
Speaking of,
That means I did it right.
That will warm you up. Bink, bink. The number one tip for winter, cold anything is start here and let the heat radiate out.
And also, don't do it. I'm just kidding.
Also, find a cabin.
I think we need a staunch, no below 32 degree rule at this point.
This is the first time we've been camping in like 4 or 5 months, and I think we don't have our sea legs.
And we definitely don't have our winter legs.
It's been like 20s. The only time we went colder than that was Mohican.
Remember at Mohican, the first night, right? It was -1. And then, yeah, the next night was like 32 degrees or like 34 degrees. I mean, obviously 34 degrees is a huge difference, but just the amount of difference it made in terms of comfort.
So-
Like, we woke up and we're like, oh yeah, that's the best night of sleep I had.
So, I think we're all in agreement here. We're gonna get a cabin.
We're gonna
Don't know where,
Cabin archives.
but I think before that, I want to get to the water because I really want to see the reservoir. So
I agree.
we can hike about 1.5 miles to the water, check it out, and then hike
Yeah.
back out.
I mean, yeah, if we're gonna get a cabin, then we can do all the hiking we want.
It's actually pretty good for making chai in 20 degrees.
My sore throat had gotten slightly worse, and none of us felt like we could manage another night in this level of cold. So we decided that after we finished today's hiking, we would find a cabin.
With a warm drink in our bellies, we started packing up, though some of us weren't packing quickly enough for Robby. Robby is losing his patience.
Andrew just in here like, I'm just having a nice pack. It's 20 degrees out, but it's warm in here. And me and Bryan are just waiting for him to finish. No urgency whatsoever in there.
This is a 4-person tent. We can all be in here.
I thought you'd be a little faster.
You thought wrong.
I feel like cabin tonight. Cabin tonight.
Cabin's the only choice, right?
100%.
Finally, we finished packing our bags and were ready to hike out.
I feel like my pack got heavier. I have to say, this was a nice little safe haven for the night.
This was great.
Yeah, being under the tree was kind of cool.
In the moment, it's never as good as it's going to be in the past.
That is 100% true.
This was our tent spot right here.
You can see the snowbank that accumulated on here. Like, look at this.
Wow.
These were our tracks from yesterday. You can see just how much snow has covered them already.
Wow, that is barely a trail now.
Yeah.
Luckily, there were clear blazes throughout the area, as the snow had made the trail almost imperceptible.
I was actually in Allegheny in October doing the trail we did originally with Nicole. And there were some parts of that were really hard to find the trail even without any snow or anything.
Well, the other tricky thing is going to be driving out of this. We're going to have to see what the road conditions are.
Yeah.
We continued along the top of the hill, entering a section with several pine saplings dispersed throughout the area.
Through the trees and the snowy haze, we could just make out the distant hills that surrounded us.
The combination of the bright snow and the openness of the forest made this ridgetop feel especially spacious.
And all of that, combined with the gently falling snow, meant we were treated to a truly stunning winter scene.
When we checked the weather before we left, we thought the snow was going to stop at 4 a.m., but it's definitely still snowing quite a bit, actually.
It's really beautiful, but I'm glad that the hiking is actually warming me up as much as it is, because it was so frigid at that campsite.
Yeah, and this flat trail is really enjoyable right now.
The snow continued falling all around us as we neared our midday destination, the shore of the reservoir.
Okay, I think we can see the reservoir. We should be coming up to the junction really soon. I have a snack that I've been warming up in my jacket. It's still not very warm. You guys can share that. This has been inside 2 layers of jackets all night.
All night.
And it's still cold.
Still pretty good though. This hike is almost lulling me into a false sense that I could camp another night.
But the idea of the cabin is too strong now. It's been incepted.
Yeah, here's the junction. There's a sign pointing to the right, indicating the North Country Trail.
Those look like fresh prints.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Wait, where did this print
these
start?
are deer tracks.
Okay, they're deer tracks.
These ones are, yeah.
I was gonna say, there's no other humans out here. Wow, you can really clearly see the reservoir.
Wow, that reservoir just looks like blank paper.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it's making me think of the sand dunes that we did New Year's at.
Oh, in Nordhaus, yeah.
Nordhaus, yeah.
So we're headed north, right?
Yeah, I'd say we should go right towards Handsome Lake. That'll be quicker than Hopewell.
All right. So we continue on the North Country Trail. That looks so intangible right now.
It's got a fresh layer of snow on it.
It also just like melts into the sky. That's really cool. The trail descended further down the hill, and I noticed some trees that were more prevalent in this area.
There's a bunch of these smaller, darker trees growing in this area, and this is something you usually see in the Appalachians called striped maple. Now the way you can tell it's a maple even without the leaves is when you look at the branches, they're opposite branching, but then the bark itself, you can still see this striped pattern. It's still even got a bit of that green color that you usually see in the summertime, where there's these like little cracks in the bark. But yeah, that's something that I usually don't see back in Ohio, but whenever I'm in the Appalachians or in a similar environment, you'll see these growing.
The path now steadily declined in elevation as we entered a small valley on our way to the lake.
More and more hemlocks surrounded us as we went deeper into the valley. At some parts, the descent was quite steep.
I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. It's going to be one heck of an uphill.
What's this?
I don't know, but as I was walking up to it, I thought it was like some sort of totem or something. You know how like in the cartoons when you they shoot a gun and the barrel just goes it's like what it did down here. I'm sure someone out there can tell us what it is though.
This was likely an oil or gas well of some sort, similar to ones we had seen in Allegheny in the past.
Anything inside?
Just snow. Looks empty. We now hiked along a gully which fed into the reservoir. Here, we noticed more subtle changes to our environment, like different plants growing on the forest floor.
So here and there's these thorny shrubs, and this is called barberry. You can see on the branches there's all these tiny little thorns, and there's still a few red berries hanging off of them. They almost look like acai berries or goji berries or something, but barberry is an invasive plant. There's some native varieties, but most likely these are some invasive ones that don't grow here naturally. But back in the mid-1900s or so, there was actually a really big problem because some invasive species of barberry carried a fungus that threatened to wipe out wheat crops and other things like that. So that was kind of a big problem for a while, but thankfully that's not an issue now.
So there should be a path to the right that leads to some sort of boat access, and the left leads to the campsite.
This map has been chewed up.
Yeah, there's a boat access that's not really pictured that goes up to the right, but we're gonna go down to the campsite. Okay, let's go. Who knows, maybe the campsite will be so enticing we'll stay.
I was thinking that too. Yeah, the snow is not that bad to hike in. Like, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse to hike in and a lot harder too. We haven't gone uphill yet, but I mean, so far it's been like normal hiking.
I feel like if anything, uphill is gonna be easier.
Yeah.
As far as traction,
right.
Not for exertion. Yeah, as far as exertion goes, we have been going downhill the entire time, so it is gonna be quite a trek back up. Are we seeing any blazes?
And that is one thing I'll say is last time I was here in this forest, there were trails that were just really hard to tell where you were going.
We hiked up a bit more, but it was still unclear.
Well, we're not sure if this is still the path or if it was up there, but I can see a stone bridge of some sort up here, so.
Maybe we just avoid crossing this river and go up here, like that way.
Let me just go see what's going on up here. There's no blazes, but this tree is marked. I think this is the path. Yeah, I think this is the path. Okay. So there is a boat ramp that goes this way. Looks pretty overgrown though, so I'm not sure what exactly that's for, but the campsite itself is up this trail.
What's weird to me is you'd think this would all be more maintained. Like, you'd think people would be going to the coast. But I get maybe most people access the campsite by boat. That might be what it is, instead of hiking to them.
We now came to what looked to be a fork in the road.
So it almost looks like there's two paths because the stream just keeps going forward. But I think there's a trail off to this side. There's a sign that says USV area. So I suspect the campsites are off in that direction, but yeah.
Oh, that's a campsite with a fire ring and everything.
Fire ring, little picnic table.
Looks like there's an outhouse back here.
Oh.
Another campsite.
Wow. Oh, it's open.
Wow. Yep, that's the outhouse.
This has a nice view.
Oh yeah, this is great. Wow. Yeah, let's clear this off.
Yeah.
And then have a little sit.
All right. There's yesterday's snow, then all this compact snow that's been built up.
Okay, this side doesn't have any ice on it.
It really is just this caked on layer of ice here.
Okay, who wants some snacks?
Who wants a beer?
All right, we got an assortment. We got nuts, chocolate nuts, Rice Krispie treats, raspberry fig bar, blueberry fig bar, Belvita crunchy, muffin bar, and fruit leather.
And some pickled cashews.
Well, I have a very Adventure Archives bar, the Yo Bar. I bought these like a year ago or something, or half a year ago. And I feel like they might be kind of hard, but we have a cookie dough swing Yo Bar and a mango Yo Bar.
They're called Yo Bars?
Yeah.
Yo Bar. To be honest, nothing really sounds that appetizing, so
no.
I'm gonna go with the Yo Bar.
Well, the texture of this already seems kind of unappealing in the cold.
Yeah, it's like, it's got that protein bar texture, you know?
Oh.
It's so hard.
Think. Not bad, actually. This cookie one's not bad, at least.
I feel like I'm gonna break my teeth.
No.
Well, not great either.
Best by July 5th, 2024.
Oh, really? I guess I bought them too long ago.
Tasted a little funky.
They taste and smell funky.
Well then, my bet. I do have this licorice though, that our friend Tori got us from New Zealand. I had some at home and it was really good. So this is like actual New Zealand licorice.
I feel like I'm Larry David right now.
I used to hate black licorice, but this is the kind where it kind of tastes like cola to me.
Yeah,
and
this
that's
is definitely way better.
But it's that flavor that got me into it in the first place. Because it's kind of like a gateway black licorice.
This is definitely better than the black licorice that I would associate with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would actually eat a lot of it, but the fact that I can take more than one bite and just be like, I'm done.
Licorice is just not my bag, man. Better than the Yo Bar, though.
Yeah.
Pickled cashews? That's a hell of a thing, man.
Well, feeling pretty good right now, honestly. Beautiful view, too. It's really interesting to see this landscape in the winter. Like, we've only seen it in the summertime.
After our snack break, we explored around the campground a bit. We were considering staying here, but wanted to make sure the campgrounds were actually open this time of year. And as far as we could tell from the registration kiosk, they were.
A little further into the campground was a sign visible to boaters passing by that marked the area, as well as a fantastic spot to take in the view of the reservoir.
It's been a while since we've done a winter camping trip. Quite this intense.
Yeah.
The temperatures are definitely no joke. And it snowed a good amount, too.
Yeah, it didn't look all that ambitious at first, but a lot of factors made it more challenging than we expected.
This is a pretty incredible scene. We've only seen this in the summertime when the water's like nice and blue and all the hills are covered in trees, but it's so different. And you could probably walk out on that lake and just
could, yeah.
slide around. I'm not gonna do it.
We're the only people out here. Yeah, I don't see any ice fishers today. Maybe way off in the distance there, but
All the
Maybe
ice
place
fishers-
is more accessible, yeah.
Yeah. Man, it'd be kind of nice to stay here, honestly, but cabin also sounds nice.
I'm saying we go. I'm saying we head out. You got me too convinced.
I'm fine with that. but-
yeah, same.
I mean, this has still
This
been,
has been, yeah, it's been great.
yeah.
Totally worth it to actually come out to the lake. See the frozen lake, just absolutely beautiful.
Man, I do feel like I could just like stand here a while and just stare. "8 years ago, we had all visited the Allegheny Reservoir in the summertime. The white, frozen expanse that we saw now was a stark and stunning contrast to the deep blue waters we remembered from last time.
We had had an unconventional start to our trip thanks to the unusually icy conditions. And now, the frigid temperatures had us looking forward to staying at a cabin. But until then, we took in and cherished the wild winter scenery around us.
Now, we made our way out of the campsite and headed back up the ravine.
From the rock wall that had been built at the end of the ravine, the trail began climbing upward, back towards the hilltop we had camped on.
It's pretty mild uphill. A little long, but kind of mild.
We're at this junction already, at least. Well, that way out of the campsite wasn't bad at all.
Nope. Now, if we get a cabin that has a shower, I call for a shower. I'm going to make myself a hot chocolate and I'm gonna drink it while I'm in the shower.
As the day went on, the snow that had fallen had become more wet and clumpy.
Show me the bottom of your boot.
I can definitely feel it. The snow conditions really aren't that bad, but what snow stuff there is, it still is accentuating how hard the uphill is. Like without any snow, this would be nothing. It must be warming up because this morning it was super fluffy and it wasn't packing at all.
Yeah. Snowball test. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely warming up. It's not quite fully snowball packing.
Oh. That was a good aim.
Our cousin James taught me this actually. We had a snowball fight when we were kids one time and he was just pelting us. He said the key is to aim with your other hand.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. I don't think it would really help you, but...
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing. Kind of a bigger target, but... A little aiming to the left.
Oh yeah. That's pretty dead on.
I mean, we're talking about a target that's like 7 feet.
All right, I'll see if I can get that tree right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh wow.
I call it the James technique. It's 3:14 right now. Presumably sunset's going to be around 5 or a little after 5. So we got like 2 hours to get back to the car before it gets dark. And that's going to be pretty tight, I think. So
yeah,
we
might be just getting dark once we get back because the uphill is going to take the longest. The rest will be fine.
Yeah. I think if we are a little steady, it'll go faster than we think.
The path now led us towards the steepest part of the incline, and we were really starting to feel it.
I got to keep reminding myself how great this cabin is going to be, because current me is very much regretting not staying at that campsite.
Yeah, but then we would have had to do this tomorrow. Now we're already mostly done with the uphill.
Before long, we had made it to the next junction.
Now I think there's a little more uphill, but then after that it's all flat once we go up here. Not bad at all. All
Yeah,
right,
that's good progress, good progress.
Yeah.
We don't want to stay at the same campsite we stayed at last night, right? Andrew, what's the story on all these saplings?
I was wondering about that myself. You can see there's a few big pine trees here and there. So I'm guessing that they've just dropped pine cones here and there, but the saplings maybe don't usually survive because there's already such a overgrowth of trees. I've noticed that in areas like this, you tend to see evergreens more in the ravines feeding into a lake, and I suspect it's because the pine cones roll into that area and have more of a establishment there. Looks very Christmassy.
Factors like soil drainage and acidity also play a role in determining where pines tend to grow on hilly terrain, with pines being more adapted to more well-drained areas.
This is one of the old ash trees. They used to be way more common until the emerald ash borer came and wiped a lot of them out. But the bark is very distinctive, has these flakes and kind of tan color. And then this is another fallen ash, and you can see how the branches are opposite branching. That's one of the handful of trees that does that in this region. But
This one looks like it's dead.
No, it is, yeah. Yeah, you can see how most of the branches have fallen off. It's probably been eaten up by the ash borer. Don't camp under that.
Do you know how that got introduced?
I heard it was shipping pallets. Just eggs and shipping pallets or something.
Further up, Andrew saw yet another tree of note.
So this is a pine tree that again has been kind of ravaged by one of those woodpeckers. And you can see how there's little splotches of sap coming out of those holes. Not a lot now, but I remember hearing that there were certain birds that would use those holes after the fact to make nests and stuff. And there was some environment they were trying to restore, so they would drill holes into trees and paint sap dripping out of the hole so that it looked like one of these. So it's interesting to see like the kind of natural cues that different animals pick up on when they're trying to choose their habitat. So in contrast to those huge holes, we also have these lines of really tiny ones just neatly lined up, and they just go up the tree. And this is a characteristic thing of sapsucker birds, which is a type of woodpecker, and they'll just tap little holes in it, and as the name implies, suck sap out of it. I know the yellow-bellied sapsucker is one that we have in the east, but anytime you see that, it's a sapsucker.
On the trail, you can see your typical tracks like rabbits, chipmunks, and deer. But I think this is, it's gotta be a snake, right?
Dude, what on earth?
But it seems weird to think of a snake slipping around in the snow.
It did like a little loop here.
Yeah.
Must be a snake. I don't know.
Is there a hole there?
Yeah. I thought snakes just die in the winter.
Well, they brumate, apparently. A lot of reptiles do brumation. I know that because of Cobra Kai.
Now we had made it back to our campsite from last night.
Kind of funny, the one evergreen in the middle of all these dead trees. It's like a, calls to you like a safe haven.
Wow, that was last night? That was days ago.
Served us well, but we have brighter futures to look forward to now.
So if I recall correctly, we're going that way. Because I think when we got here last time, we saw those 5s, but we weren't going that way.
We just came from this line right here. 5 is over here, so we won't go that way. We're gonna go this way.
Yeah, there's also a trail going down that way, where that intersection is.
Now it was time to descend back down the hill, and I wanted to test something out.
We need to find out what this would be like without microspikes.
Oh man, I think you're gonna regret this.
Whoop! Get your answer very quickly. Oh yeah. Oh.
I mean, even with Microspike right now, got a little bit of slip here.
Yeah, these are such a cheat code that I really thought it would be a little bit easier than that, but no. All right, I would guess we're still about a mile away from the car. It's 4:20 right now, so we have a little less than an hour of daylight left. I don't think that should be any issue because the trail is fairly straightforward, but it would be nice to get back to the car before it gets fully dark.
And on our way back, we heard the drumming of a distant woodpecker. After that, we continued on. We were excited to get out of the cold and get to a cabin, but at the same time, we made sure not to overlook the beautiful sights and nostalgic feelings exuded by the snowy forest. The dark of evening was starting to spread through the forest as we neared the trailhead.
You know, as the sun is starting to set and I'm realizing how late in the day it is, we haven't even eaten lunch yet.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out why I'm just so tired and this trail's getting longer and longer.
I feel like we all just refuse to stop to drink water or eat snacks because we're so close anyway.
Yeah.
Just calling to us.
Hopefully we'll be able to find a cabin, because if not, it's gonna be Hotel Archives, which I won't complain about. Don't get me wrong, but maybe not the most exciting thing.
And on the way out, we spotted the same mushrooms we had seen yesterday.
Still Ganoderma, but significantly more snow on them now. These were growing on this before they fell, but underneath are some horsehoof fungi. Fomes fomentarius, good tinder fungus.
How can you tell the difference between that and the other one we just saw?
This one has a very distinct shape, like the hoof of a horse. When it comes to those ones, a lot of times there's different species that look really similar, but it's tinder fungus, and I think back in the day, Stone Age people would use fungi like that to start fires and also transport fires because it held an ember really well. But honestly, in my own personal experience, just camping and hiking with modern tools, it's much easier to find some birch bark if you're in an environment like that and use that instead. They were doing it for like long-term lifestyle stuff. We're just out here a couple nights trying to start a fire in the woods.
In fact, Nicole and I had used tinder fungus at Allegheny in the past, and although it worked, it took some effort to get an ember going.
I'm not gonna make it unless I snack up a little bit.
Man, my pack is heavy.
Oh man, how are we not there yet? Oh my god.
You want to know how much we have left?
Oh, we were super close though. Yeah, that was good. The sad boy licorice. Like a prospector from 1892. Did you stick that whole thing in your mouth?
Yeah. I'll do it again.
I'm guessing I won't feel this way once we get to the cabin. But at least right now, I am definitely regretting not staying at that campsite.
The one reason I don't regret it is because fumbling around with cooking complicated food when it's this cold is just not fun.
That's true.
Your fingers just like start getting cold so fast.
I think we went a little too elaborate.
That's like, you forgot how hard it is in the winter.
Every time we do a winter hike, I feel like there's something we're like, it's so hard to do this, and then it's something that we already knew, but we just kind of forgot.
I mean, a lot of times we just persevere and do it anyway.
Yeah.
We're gonna be sitting pretty soon.
We're not gonna be regretting anything.
We're super close now.
Yeah, I can see the bridge.
Yeah, this is where we had a little planning discussion.
All right, last chance on this campsite. No votes for this campsite, right?
At the very least, we can go up to the car and put away some of our bigger stuff and think about it.
Brad's like, and then we could drive the car and find a cabin and think about it there.
Let's go.
After the idea had been incepted, it was hard for us to talk ourselves out of it, especially considering it was around 24 degrees outside and would get even colder at night.
Want to sign the guest book? I think we should. I don't know if you need a pen.
I can barely move my fingers.
All right. North Country Trail complete. Woo! All right. Roads don't look too bad. That's good.
Wow. Still feels like such an accomplishment.
Definitely accomplishment.
You guys get the bags loaded, I'll get the car scraped.
Our hike was now over, but that wasn't the end of the story. Our unconventional trip was about to get even more unconventional.
After cleaning off the car and putting away our gear, we still had the crucial step of trying to find a cabin last minute. We had seen that there was a KOA campground not too far from us.
First step, are we checking out that KOA?
Yeah, I think we'll just go in the direction of the KO until we have signal.
Okay.
So you said I'm going right?
Yeah. How's it feel?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I only trust Bryan to drive this.
Yeah, I knew the moment you asked him, and honestly, I made the right choice.
I definitely would not have asked Andrew.
It was only about 9 minutes to the campground. We were really hoping we could get a nice rustic cabin where we could stretch out a bit and be warm.
Some skittish deer crossed the road as we talked about our upcoming evening.
If Andrew cooks us his meal, that was supposed to be tonight's meal at wherever we stay, will this be our first post-hike meal?
The thing is, this meal might seem slightly nice for a campsite, but for a cabin it might seem pretty trash. But we'll see.
As long as it's delicious, I don't think any of us is going to complain.
Questionable. Nothing's expired, at least, unlike those Yo bars.
Once we got signal, we looked up the KOA website.
So, no available units. It says there's nothing.
I feel like the most likely scenario is that they're just not open. Because why would they stay open in a time like this?
Right.
Hoping that there's a group of 3 people just
Right.
getting a random cabin, being the only people there. So, all right, it's gonna be your next right really soon.
These are just like residences. There's an actual cabin right there.
It's up here, yeah. You can see a bunch of campgrounds and stuff.
There's a cabin there. It looks really nice.
Notice closed for winter. Keep that one no trespassing.
These cabins look nice.
Oh man, it looks so.
Oh man.
Since the campgrounds were closed, we got online to continue our search for a cabin.
Oh, this looks cabin-esque.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, they got like a wooden bed frame. That's cabin-esque.
Yeah, we are gonna
Cabin it up.
A good time.
After searching around, we found a somewhat suitable spot, although it was perhaps not nearly rustic enough to call a cabin.
But regardless of how rustic or not it was, we were all pretty excited.
Most of all, Robby.
Do you remember earlier when I was saying like a stupid fool that I was regretting not staying at that campsite? The regret is gone!
I was about to do a morale check around here. Like, morale check? Morale check? How we doing?
Morale is high.
Oh man, gotta get naked. So the driveway doesn't get plowed in the winter, so we're gonna have to park at the top and then walk to the cabin. So we do have a little bit of hiking left. We're not out of the woods yet.
Robby just gets out of the cars at the top of the hill. He's like, you guys just want to camp here?
The strange circumstances of our trip definitely felt surreal, and that feeling was all the more accentuated by the mysterious atmosphere as dusk fell.
I've actually had dreams where we, in the middle of a trip, have like gone into a town, and I was like, wait, why are we in town? So that's kind of what it feels.
Prophetic.
Yeah.
Before long, we had arrived at our destination, a small pull-off just to the side of the road.
Yeah, this whole thing is just a sheet of ice, and we have to put our spikes back on. But it is blisteringly cold, and it's making us earn this cabin all over again. Should have put my gloves back on.
Let's go. What are we waiting for?
Hurdle to make us just realize how good this cabin is.
Yeah, it's that bit of contrast that we need to really appreciate it.
Wow, what a view.
Oh man, that makes me appreciate this so much more.
This is like any game or movie where they get in a cabin in the snowstorm. You know, the start of Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah. Man, central heating is like a luxury.
Oh man.
Heat is a luxury.
I gotta take a shower. I'm sick and tired.
You're not actually feeling sick, are you?
No, I am feeling sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm about to drink this cold water because I need to hydrate, but we should get some hot beverages going right away.
Don't worry, I have got an interesting hot beverage for us to try. This is perfect. They even have a kettle. This should be great for getting our hot drink going. So while Robby was showering, I think the water just shut off and this is doing nothing. So we might still have to do a little bit of camping. I'm gonna use this water bladder to fill this kettle in the meantime. Curious what Bryan and Robby's reaction to this is gonna be.
So, you so elaborate.
This would have been really annoying to do in the cold. It would have been doable, but you know, in the cold it just might have been a big pain. We have got taro boba tea. And
Hold on, you were planning on doing this while camping?
I mean, it's technically doable. If it weren't,
It took you like half an hour to do it in a regular kitchen.
well, I figured if I was in an actual house, I might as well do it properly. But I even
That's fair.
have straws for the boba.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It smells like a bakery.
So Brian's mama bear. I'm gonna be baby bear.
Oh, really?
Look at this.
Oh. Oh, this is the same amount? Okay, I'll be popular.
I think it's about the same amount.
Andrew's the youngest. Hey.
It's good.
So you use this to suck up the bobas?
Be careful though.
A little hot, but
Really hot.
I'm looking for the Bobas. I can't even feel them in there. Are they in there?
you have to suck and have faith.
I got one. Wow. Wait a minute. How were you planning on doing this on the trail?
You can make the boba stovetop. You don't need the microwave. It's pretty good.
That was good, yeah. Tastes really good.
Yeah. And I wasn't worried about putting too much water because I figured it'd be really sweet anyway.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Very, very nice when you have a full kitchen.
Remember this morning? Need I say more?
Remember how frigid it was outside just walking down here?
Just walking down that driveway.
Man, oh my God.
If you want the experience, you can just go walk out there for a second.
I was debating that.
It's 21 degrees outside.
I do want to try making this on an actual camping trip.
Just a cool autumn day.
Yeah.
Totally down for that. And some of that taro boba.
All right, I will start dinner now.
How many different taro-related things have you brought on backpacking trips now? There was that taro,
The ube paste.
Ube
It's
paste.
basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for dinner, part of it was some corn, and originally I was going to grill the corn over the fire, but this pot has a little steaming basket, so I'm just going to steam it for ease of use.
And along with the corn, I had a noodle dish planned out. Skyline chili style spaghetti. A dish that can hardly be considered luxurious even when you are in the woods, let alone when you're eating from the comforts of civilization.
Alright, so we got noodles, we've got corn. Those are for separate dishes, but one of the components is a fresh onion. I'm just going to use the cutting board I brought, but I might as well use a proper kitchen knife. This actually looks extremely dull, so it might not be that good, but we'll see. Yeah, this is really dull. I'm gonna use my actual knife. I guess one issue is this onion has kind of been frozen and thawed, so I'm gonna see if there's some better layers underneath. Corn looks thoroughly steamed. Yeah, these noodles still turned out a little questionably, but if you pretend you're camping, it'll be good.
Now it was time to add the Skyline chili. Fun fact, this chili is not Mexican in origin like most chilies, but is actually a Greek creation. After adding the chili to the noodles and mixing well, I added the fresh diced onions in to give it a little bit of extra zing and freshness. Now we just had to set the table and dinner would be ready.
This is Skyline chili noodles with fresh onions. And the corn, I brought these White Castle mayonnaise packets because I was gonna make elote. So it's that Mexican dish where you put mayonnaise and then you put some of this like tahini seasoning and the Parmesan cheese on it. It feels like we're in an apocalypse or something. That you need this in this house.
Yeah, it does.
So this is just Skyline chili?
Yeah, and then I diced some fresh onions over top with ramen noodles.
I'm just laughing because this is perfectly tasty, but it's clearly camping food.
Yeah. When you're eating this in a cabin, it's just kind of sad.
Still good though. I'm really hungry.
Same.
Yeah.
Next up, we tried the corn. After spreading mayonnaise on it, we added some elote seasoning and Parmesan cheese.
I think traditionally it's like some specific Mexican cheese, but Parmesan I often see as a replacement.
Verdict, Bryan?
It's okay. This is interesting, but I think the mayonnaise kind of overpowers it. I don't know how you feel. Maybe I didn't put enough seasoning.
You can try spreading it thinner on the other side. Yeah, as I bite this, I think more of the elote seasoning is good.
Yeah, pretty good.
What was the idea of pairing this corn with this pasta?
No logic there.
I think maybe the fresh onions a bit much.
Yeah,
I feel like a sweet onion would have been better.
when we're in a warm cabin, it just becomes Iron Chef.
Continuing the proud tradition of Andrew doing all the work and then telling him how he did it wrong.
Well, hope you enjoyed your prison food.
This really is like scrounger food. Like you went to the store after apocalypse and you're just grabbing whatever is still on the shelves. Like corn, mayo packets from White Castle.
I went through the White Castle drive-thru. I was like, could I have a bunch of mayonnaise too? They're like, yeah, mayonnaise. And then they gave me 2 packets of mayonnaise. So then I just turned around and went in and grabbed a bunch.
2 packets. Is that a bunch where you're from?
After dinner, we decided to share a dessert that Robby had brought, a dehydrated peach cobbler meal.
So this is some peach cobbler from my brother's family. They got it for me for Christmas.
This really feels like we're in an apocalypse right now.
No running water. Dehydrated meals. Yo, that's good. Oh, the peaches are good, man. I got a whole peach.
That is legit good.
This is the weirdest Adventure Archives trip.
I was thinking to myself earlier, does it feel like we're copying out? But you know what? No one, it's kind of unreasonable to go backpacking in the winter.
It's called Adventure Archive, not Backpacking Archive.
Well, if you think about it, like, even people who lived out in nature, they have a warm shelter to get back to that is already established. May or may not have running water.
If this is copping out, I don't want to cop in, man.
There was part of me earlier where I was like, it's almost too warm. I was like, I better not think that. Or something else is gonna shut off.
The heater shuts off and we just end up like...
Ends up being cold anyway.
Oh man, that's funny. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this if you want.
I'll have a few more Boba balls. Good night.
It's quite the setup here.
Alright, good night. One no tuck.
Are you just feeling full on sick right now? Oh jeez. That's not good. It's a good thing we got this cabin though.
Thoughts?
It's really funny that we had the inclination to get a cabin, because that ended up being a really good decision. Because if you had been out there in 18-degree cold, that would have been bad news, I think.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
This trip started and ended in an unconventional way. What we thought was going to be a relaxing winter jaunt in the woods turned out to be something quite different.
Wow, what a view.
Well, still one more uphill hike.
And although it didn't match our expectations of the experience, it all ended up working out in the end. We were able to adapt and hike through the icy forest, and our decision to get a cabin ended up working out perfectly, giving Robby a warm and easy place to rest after suddenly feeling sick.
This trip would certainly give us memories we would cherish. From exploring the local outdoor store and hiking through the snowy forests, to relaxing in the warmth of a cabin. When adventures take unexpected turns, it's always good to embrace them, enjoy the ride, and try your best to have fun no matter what.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please go to patreon.com/adventure to support the episodes. You've seen the bloopers, right?
I have.
Okay. Are bloopers your favorite parts of the episodes?
They are definitely my favorite parts. Then comes the shout-outs. Then the episode.
You were moving, so this is the last time you're going to see shout-outs from this house in an episode. Would you recommend becoming a patron?
I would definitely recommend becoming a patron.
Are you a patron?
I am...
You are not a patron.
I'm your mother! I've thought about doing it anonymously because I know if I did it under my own name, you'd come back and go, Mom,
yeah,
that'd be really stupid. Don't do that.
Thank you to our generous patrons. You make this possible, and you make it so that we don't have to have sponsorships interrupting the video every 10 minutes. Bloopers, commentaries, name in the credits, copies of the soundtrack, shoutouts that you're about to see. We'll have some bloopers at the end of this episode as a little bonus so you can get a preview. Thank you for watching.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Drive safe.
All right.
I feel better.
I got to get my customary gyro and fries.
We're gonna draw a little bit of everybody's blood. I'm gonna figure out which one of you is the thing. If a normal man bleeds, it's just tissue. But see, the thing, it's made up of individual animals. If its blood is poked by a hot needle, I figure it'll run away, try to protect itself like a wounded animal. First, I'll show you what I already know.
Crock of crap.
Now let's do Joey and Mela next.
So Joey and Mela were human, which makes you a murderer.
We'll do Douglas Jackson next.
Pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Ryan Kimba. You're the only one who could have gotten to that blood. We'll do you last. Good evening. My name's Jasper Capps. Can you please state your name for the record?
The name's James Rokitsky.
Tell me what you saw the day May B. Murray's bike was stolen.
They was working on the tires. That's all that was took.
Listen, Mr. Rokitsky, I'm just here trying to help you. But if you're not gonna cooperate, my partner Christina Alvarez might have something to say about that.
You stole the bike, didn't you? It was an electric bike. You saw that battery and saw dollar signs, didn't you? I don't play by the rules, you hear me? I don't play by the rules!
Why are you all glammed up, Sarah Kutsune?
I'm going to meet Chris Higginbottom.
I've literally never heard of him.
He is hugely charismatic.
Is he indeed? You know, I've never met anyone with any charisma, ever. I've got absolutely no interest whatsoever. Well, I must admit, the man certainly has charisma. He's fit, and he has bags of charisma. He's got this charisma. It's like black magic. Bryan Kitsune says he draws everyone in.
You ever hear the tragedy of Dan Vulcans, the Wise?
No.
Dan Vulcans was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could use the midichlorians to create life. He had such knowledge of the dark side that he could even keep the ones he loved from dying.
He could actually save people from death.
Yes, Padawan Sanwa 1. The dark side is a pathway to many abilities some would consider to be unnatural.
Chancellor Sun Jian Huang, is it possible to learn these abilities?
Not from a Jedi.
Hi everybody, I'm Leon Lin alongside Lou Lin, and welcome to the annual East-West Bowl, as we get ready to watch some of the best college players showcase their skills in a classic face-off of East versus West. That's right, Leon, and it seems like some of the most flamboyant characters came to the forefront for this game, and they are here. Let's meet the players from the East. Cradle Rachel Leah Ellison McCringleberry, East Carolina University. Harry Maryson Cabbage Bin, South Carolina State University. Mousy Flousy Mousy Glousy Aussie Yamagata III, Marion University. Chadinkledge Bryan Yamagata Morgoon, Penn State University. And now let's meet some of the players from the West. Tim Velociraptor McKim, South Dakota State University. Nikki! San Diego University. Threnody Amperthan Chewy Jr., Nevada State Penitentiary. TSASRS and 4th to 5th, Adams State University.
Hello, Archivers. Good afternoon, John Lorenus.
Sweet cabbage bar.
Jenna, welcome. I'm agog at how well I can tell you're already fitting in. The office feels whole. Now, let's get this party started. My name is Sue, and my Audi's name is Tan. And one thing about me is I know all 9 core principles of Greedo. Awesome. What's your favorite? All 9. But today I would say cheer. Great. I'm sorry, what's an Audi? An Audi is what we call our counterparts on the outside. I'm Ren in my Audi's Yvette. I like to think my Audi lives in a houseboat. Your Audi is Matisse Vicar. Okay, well, my name is Jenna Spitzer, I guess, and my Audi's name is Matisse Vicar, and I don't know if I have a family or what, because I've only been alive for 10 hours. Okay, well, actually, I was thinking, I'd like to talk to my Audi, so could I don't think you're quite getting the game here, Jenna. May I? Guys, this is Jenna. She joined Greedo yesterday. She's 6 feet tall, and her hair length is what I would call medium. And seeing her here today with everyone, I would say she definitely has a family. Oh, well, that's a lot to follow. Well, my name is David Dickerson, and my Audi's name is Jennifer Dickerson, and I absolutely love this game. Nice try, pal, but you said that last time. Fair enough. Well, I broke protocol this morning. I took down the pictures with Kelsey Goodritis. I guess I was just afraid I wouldn't be able to run archival as well as her. That's enough, please. Let me remind you that there are no such concerns down here. And I think a great potential response from all of you is gratitude. Now, I also think this cabbage is not getting any tastier.
You ever hear the tragedy of Dan Vulcan's The Wise?
Sounds like a constipated grandpa.
He was so powerful and so...
From dying. From dying.
That was the most Matt Berry.
From dying.
Say it more just like a normal old man almost.
Not from a